Former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted on charges of lying to Congress, marking a dramatic escalation in the ongoing battle between him and US President Donald Trump. The case stems from Comey's handling of the investigation into possible Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election, a probe that deeply angered Trump, who has long insisted his campaign was unfairly accused of colluding with Moscow. Comey now faces accusations of providing false statements and obstructing justice in his testimony to lawmakers about the case. If convicted, he could face up to 5 years in prison. Comey responded to the indictment with a defiant video statement posted on social media. He declared, "Somebody that I love dearly recently said that fear is the tool of a tyrant, and she's right. But I'm not afraid, and I hope you're not either. I hope instead you are engaged, you are paying attention, and you will vote like your beloved country depends upon it," which it does. "My heart is broken for the Department of Justice, but I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent. So let's have a trial and keep the faith." The indictment follows a direct push from President Trump, who just days earlier publicly urged Attorney General Pam Bondi to take action against Comey and other perceived political adversaries. The White House has denied accusations that the president is weaponizing the Justice Department. A senior White House spokesperson countered criticism by saying, "It is not weaponizing the Department of Justice to demand accountability for those who weaponize the Department of Justice, and nobody knows what that looks like more than President Trump. We are not going to tolerate gaslighting from anyone in the media or from anyone on the other side who is trying to say that it's the president who is weaponizing the DOJ. It was Joe Biden and his attorney general who weaponized the DOJ. Critics, however, see the indictment as a profound abuse of presidential power. The American Civil Liberties Union described it as a grotesque misuse of authority. Catherine Clover Ashbrook, a political analyst and senior advisor at the Bertelsmann Foundation in Germany, echoed those concerns, saying the Justice Department has been dragged into a personal vendetta. This is the first time in decades that the Justice Department has been instrumentalized to serve a president's personal retribution. Since the Watergate scandal, it has been almost sacrosanct, standing apart from executive power to act as a check on it. Now it has become the long arm of the law for this American president, Ashbrook warned. She traced the roots of the current situation back to Trump's 2023 campaign rally in Waco, Texas, where he told supporters, "I am your retribution," signaling his intent to target individuals who had tried to limit his power during his first term. Ashbrook noted that an earlier prosecutor in Virginia had declined to pursue charges against Comey due to a lack of evidence, but was replaced by a Trump loyalist. She described the indictment, which is barely 2 pages long, as weak and politically motivated. "In the country that I call my second home, which is a country of laws, you follow the facts first, you follow the law first, and then you indict," she said, criticizing the reversal of these principles. The internal turmoil at the Department of Justice has alarmed many observers. Ashbrook highlighted that even during Trump's first administration, Attorney General Jeff Sessions had recused himself from the Russia investigation to preserve the department's independence. Now we see a Department of Justice being politicized from the top all the way down to the middle tier, being set upon the president's political enemies. "That is not how the Justice Department is supposed to function in a democracy," she said. Ashbrook warned that the erosion of trust in the Justice Department's independence threatens one of the most critical checks and balances in the US system. She said Comey's faith in a fair trial may help restore public confidence, but cautioned that only time will tell. She also expressed deep concern that the US is edging toward authoritarianism. "We are very close, if not already past, the tipping point where checks and balances no longer function as intended. Congress has been weakened, the courts have shifted in the president's favor, and the press, which we consider the fourth estate, is being undermined. This is not the sign of a robust democracy," she argued. Ashbrook also warned that ordinary Americans should not dismiss the indictment as distant political drama. She noted that the growing centralization of data by the government raises concerns about targeting individual citizens. When you see an American president on the same night that the Comey indictment comes down suing 6 states to access their voter records and party affiliations, it suggests there is more targeting to come, targeting that could affect every single American, she said. The indictment against Comey is part of a broader pattern, with Trump repeatedly calling for the prosecution of his political opponents. Ashbrook concluded grimly, "This is a massive power grab by the chief executive. It carves away the fundamental tenets of American democracy. It could mark the end of the functional democratic system as we have known it for 250 years. Political experts echoed these concerns. Tyson Barker, a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council, noted that Comey's decision to go to trial reflects his confidence in the judicial system's independence, even as the Justice Department's integrity is questioned. He said himself he's innocent. He's confident they won't be able to prove the charges against him, Barker said. He warned that Trump has long sought to use the Justice Department for settling scores. Donald Trump has said, "I want the Justice Department to be an arm for score settling," and he's laid out a list of individuals, including James Comey, that he wants to see prosecuted, Barker emphasized. Barker added that this trend is typical of democracies sliding toward authoritarianism. Selective justice, prosecuting political enemies, is a hallmark of degrading democracies. Trump has made it clear he wants his opponents prosecuted, and we're starting to see that play out, he said. Mike Coburn, a political science research fellow at Zeppelin University, underscored the shaky legal foundation of the case. He noted that the charges relate to brief exchanges during Comey's 2020 Senate testimony and that the statute of limitations was about to expire. In short, this looks like very shaky ground for the Trump administration, purely on the merits of the case, Coburn observed. He stressed, however, that the real danger lies in the unprecedented influence of the White House over the Justice Department. This is precisely the kind of situation scholars point to when identifying democratic backsliding, countries moving away from democracy toward authoritarianism, he said. Coburn also warned that Comey is unlikely to be the last target. Trump has long expressed his desire to go after political opponents. He now feels emboldened to act against them. The fact that safeguards in the Justice Department are being overridden is a very dangerous sign, he added. The drama escalated further when President Trump took to his Truth Social platform to launch another attack. Justice in America. One of the worst human beings this country has ever been exposed to is James Comey, the former corrupt head of the FBI, Trump wrote. The unfolding situation has drawn global attention, with analysts viewing it as a critical test of America's democratic resilience. While Comey prepares for trial, with his arraignment scheduled for October 9th, questions about the future of the country's institutions loom large. His insistence on his innocence and belief in the judicial system contrasts sharply with critics' fears of a Justice Department bending to political will. The Comey indictment is not merely a legal battle. It has become a symbol of the growing struggle over the soul of American democracy. At its core lies a profound question: whether the institutions designed to check executive power can withstand the pressure of a president intent on expanding that power. As the trial approaches, it promises to be a pivotal moment not only for Comey but for the country itself, testing whether the principles of law and democracy can prevail in a time of intense political polarization.